Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamak. This is Let's Play Oxygen Not Included. In the last episode we finally finished automating the creator control room up here, so we're actually making quite a bit of decent progress towards a fully sustainable hatch ranch. All we need to do is have someone groom all the hatches and they'll produce the eggs we need for food. The downside is that we still have a bit of time before it's going to start yielding meat. And so the way the carnivore achievement works is actually it's going to be rather tight. We're almost up to 50 cycles and we haven't really made much progress. So we have to eat 100 hatches 100 hatches worth of food in 50 cycles. That's basically, we need to have 8 duplicates by cycle 50, and so whatever we get here is we have to take a person. We can't take a care package, even though our food stores are very close to the wire there. Okay, printables. This is interesting. Glow stick. Emit low amount of reds and light. This was added for the DLC. Basically, this duplicate is going to be a constant radiation source in the colony. There are definitely advantages to duplicates like this. For example, because they always have light, they're good at researching or operating jobs because they have item crafting because they always have a lit workspace. And I guess if you were to find a way for them to be in a specific position consistently, you could use them as a light source for a plant, or maybe you could use them as a radiation source for something. But here's the downsides. First of all, he's going to wake people up when he walks past them if they're asleep because he counts as a source of light. So you have to think carefully about how you position his bed. And the other thing is that because he has a constant source of radiation around him, he's actually going to end up getting sick from radiation pretty easily. So you have to try and have a bunch of radiation medication on hand for him. But if I get another bottomless stomach duplicate, then I'm already good. I'm at the 8,000 kilocalories consumed per day. I'm just not sure whether I'm capable of handling that yet. Who else do we have? Narcoleptic, falls asleep at any time. This is atrocious, unfortunately. I used to think that it wasn't as bad, but then I realized that it does actually wreck a lot of things because they can fall asleep in inconvenient times. They can drop things that they were carrying, and so that messes things up. Like if this person were, say, carrying food through a hatch ranch and then dropped it on the floor, the hatches might eat it. This person could be carrying polluted dirt from one to a compost heap, drop it on the floor and end up and then someone else has to come along and pick it up without sanitation to get the germs off. That would also be pretty bad. The upside is that it's really hard to make them stressed because whenever they fall asleep they actually reduce in stress. The thing is, there's nothing interesting on him that would make narcoleptic worth taking the disadvantage for. Otto. He can cook, he can wear suits, he can doctor. He has a green thumb and food morale bonus. Actually, he has quite the morale bonus because he's also a kitchen menace. Very tempting. But I'm going for this. It's down to the wire because I'd also have to deal with glow stick waking people up. But this is also a digger and a builder, and I could actually use another digger or a builder. might regret it, but Abe joined the colony. So actually, I need a slight reminder of how this works. Two that way, two that way. Anyway, Abe's jobs are going to be building, digging, and high-level attacking. Abe is going to get a digger's hat because, well, digging is the harder part of building. And I also want to put him on a different schedule. We just got him. He might as well be on the morning shift. So then, what I'm planning on doing, Duplicate access permissions are a rather useful thing because they can let you have a door that just no one's allowed through, or you can use them to set an area as only for this duplicant. Or alternatively, if we take Abe and we remove his movement permissions on this door, he's never going to travel to the right. So provided that whoever's in this cot isn't on the same sleep schedule as him, he shouldn't be disturbing any of the other duplicants that go to bed. Actually, let's change this to 8. And change these to 7. I want to prioritize getting a bed for Abe first. Anyway, this is supposed to be my hospital, but I'm going to repurpose it into a bedroom so I can remove these cots. Yeah, Abe shouldn't have any reason to run through here. I hope. Yeah, we need to step up digging into here so we can get a new lake. Oh, by the way, no matter what species they are, even the nocturnal animals like hatches, the babies will always fall asleep during the night. There's also a critter type that will actually fall asleep during the night no matter what age they are, the plug slugs, but that's for a positive benefit that we'll have to get into later. We need to replace this pneumatic door at some point, and for safety reasons I'm going to make sure that I seal off this corridor before I open it up. And darn. So, we've had bristle blossoms around for so... Yeah, I need to talk about the plants now, don't I? Alright, so here's how plants work. If we look at something like the mealwood, they have to be kept between a specific temperature, they have to be kept in a certain air pressure, their atmosphere needs to be, they need a specific atmosphere, and they need to have less than 4,600 radiation, reds per cycle in radiation. If you try to grow them domestically, well, okay, that's what leads to their wildlife cycles. If you want to grow them domestically, it shortens the life cycle, but they require extra things like fertilization. So if we wanted to plant a mealwood, and we don't want to because we want the locavore achievement. If we wanted to plant a mealwood, we'd need to give it 10 kilograms of dirt per cycle. That's not an insignificant number, especially when dirt is also used for research. We might as well also start the next 20 red bolts going. For something like Bristle Blossom, it's different. It has a bit of a higher temperature range, but it also has to be kept in light. So if it's not like, yeah, it's pitch black here, so she simply can't grow. If we were to find a reason for Abe to stand next to one all day, then it would actually grow. Shine bugs are good and bad for bristle blossoms. They're good because they generate the light they need. The problem is they also eat bristle blossoms, meaning that if one of these plants are harvested because of a shine bug's light, we aren't likely to get any of the food because the shine bug might just eat it all. Looking at something different, the other thing about bristle blossoms, rather than dirt, they take water. Just a useful point. So where was I? If we look at the dust cap, they take slime to grow, but they also have an illumination of darkness, so any sort of light will immediately halt their growth. They also need carbon dioxide, which isn't good for a slime biome where there's polluted oxygen everywhere. You can use the farming overlay over here to see the specifics on plants. So, all the ones with the yellow mean that they are currently growing. If it's red, then it means that something's messing up its growth rate, and it'll tell you specifically what that problem is. Here, it's that this balm lily doesn't like the atmosphere. They can only grow in chlorine. Over here, it's because there's no shine bug to keep it lit up, so it's in the dark and can't grow. Keep in mind that if a plant is submerged in too much water, with a few exceptions, it'll cause them to drown and eventually die and deroot themselves, which, yeah, not the best. And of course you can always give them these little sweetles can tend them, and that'll cause them to grow a little bit faster. And pips can always plant wild plants for you, useful if you need to get the nature reserves. Alright, everyone has their own bunk up in the bedroom over here, and nobody sleeps next to Abe. I should actually also double in on pointing things out about the plants, is that all of them have less than 4,600 reds per cycle to grow. Growing near its maximum radiation increases the chances of mutant seeds being produced. These are tied to an achievement, and I'm not sure how I'm going to get them, but the way it works is that mutant seeds, you have no idea what happens when they spawn. You just get them. You take them over to a botanical analyzer, and that identifies what subspecies they are. You can then plant them, and they basically grow. They're variations. They do different things to the base plant, but they also have the caveat that they have to be kept in a certain level of radiation, not just below a threshold. They also have to be kept above a threshold. It's messy stuff. I've never really been able to get the plant radiation working because it's hard to get that sort of constant radiation. Okay, I want to send all my edibles away. So if it ever detects any meat down here, it's going to scoop it up and dump it in the conveyor loader. And I think I might need to make a lot more copper because I could just have all these conveyor loaders transport the meat straight up to here. But then it would get eaten by this large army of tame, hungry hatchlings, and I don't want that. I want to get to eat the food. So I think what I need to do is I need to make another set of 4 conveyor loaders over here and have them drop the meat into there so it goes straight to the kitchen. Oh, also the puffs grew up. Since we have a bit of a downtime, let's look at another tutorial. This one's probably important. Be careful with how you dig, otherwise things will fall on your head. And food's running dry, so we'd better have a look around to see if there's something we could dig up for there. And then dig this up. Yeah, I think if there's nothing left in the sandstone biome that isn't tied to lakes in some way. This is getting a little bit tight. And of course whoever grows up first is going to get into the hatch ranches, and that's going to be the point where we start getting meat out of this ranch. The problem is, we do have elderly hatches over here. We have elderly hatches, and when they pass away, then we are going to get the meat out of it, if they die of old age. The problem is then, it needs new hatches to come from here, so we're very much down to the wire. I think this is a time. This might be the last time we get the mush bars, though. I wonder if you've planted anything new. No. I guess I should cover another thing about these bristle blossom plants. Yeah, when they're fully bloomed and ready to drop their fruit, they start generating floral scent in their immediate area. Most duplicants don't mind this. They get the floral scent buff, which slightly reduces stress. The problem is that if a duplicant has allergies, being exposed to this will give them an allergic reaction. They get a massive stress penalty, and they'll stop to sneeze every few seconds. It is possible to cure them though. If you get the moment an allergic reaction is triggered, they'll immediately look for and try to take some allergy medication to give them a temporary immunity to it. But even so, it's not. At the very least, you don't want it at the start of the. You don't want it at the start of the game where every second is precious. And I guess you can go into Data Analysis Researcher. I think I like the black and red hat of astronomy the best for scientists, though. Actually, I think maybe you should go into farming. Because we've been leaving these plants unharvested for so long, and the longer you leave them, the longer it takes for them to start growing new batches of food. Although, if they're left unharvested long enough, then they'll just drop the food as is. So, yeah, it is possible to run automated farms that don't have any duplicants visiting them at all. We need to start making more progress to getting down to here, though. Look around, but nothing of interest. The computer was wiped almost completely clean except for one file hidden in the recycle bin. After 9 deeply fulfilling years as editor of the STEM Scoop, I am stepping down to spend more time with my family. Please give a warm welcome to Dorian Hurst, who will be taking over editorial management duties effective immediately. So wait, what order did these things happen in? Okay, the user alphabetized the shortcuts on their desktop. There's nothing else of import to be found here. But if we tell someone to rummage here, then when they get access to it, they'll actually open the locker and find an outfit that can be worn. So similar to how we had Ashkin. How Ashkin has that purple outfit, we'll be able to get our hands on another outfit to give a slight stress reduction. Or alternatively, it might be a warm or a sweater or a cool vest, which have their own uses. What's this? Grub fruit. How close are we to cooking stuff? Jean is cooking stuff. Okay, good. Actually, we can also inspect our printing pod. I searched my incoming message history and find a single entry. I moved the odd message into my database. Oh. Evacuation protocol in effect. Reactor meltdown in bioengineering imminent. Remain calm and proceed to emergency exits. Do not attempt to use elevators. Oh dear. We have 3 hatchlings over there. Nice. We need at least 2 hatchlings for this stable, and after that we'll be fine. The thing is, Catalina as a supplier is important, but I think we need someone to be on permanent operating duty so we can get this materials research done. Still got a few more minutes to go. And Hassan's filling his gut. His bottomless stomach. Oh! I think he just ate a full grub fruit reserve to get his belly back in order. Not that I can blame him. We have been kind of running low on food here and there. And yet when all that is said and done, I feel like I probably would want to take an 8th duplicant at this point. Simply so we can get to the... Well, the thing is we can't expect a... So, I'm going to open up something very useful. Type in Oni Ranch Calculator in Google or whatever search term you want to search system you want to use. Oni Ranch Calculator. This tool is intended to calculate the necessary ranch size in critters at a steady rate to provide a required number of harvestable critters. So, because I have 8 duplicants worth of hungry mouths, technically we only have 7, but we have 2 people that have bottomless stomach. That means we need 8,000 barbecue per day. To get 8,000 barbecue per day, we need to ranch 2 critters per cycle. So, 2 hatches per cycle. That means we need 13 hatches. So we're actually a bit over the requirement. But as it is, I would like nice numbers. I like round numbers better, so we're going for a full set of 16. And actually it also has a number here that asks, okay, what's your husbandry level? But that's more for calculating the time spent per cycle ranching. Nothing too critical there. And yeah, so here's the thing. There's actually a tiny bit of a delay. So even though we're firing off 20 red bolts at 5 power each, they slightly decay before they reach the material study terminal, so actually we need a bit more than 20 each time, and that adds up. And oh dear, our food store is actually slightly non-functional. We are going to get our food under control sooner or later. It's just going to be a bit of a tense situation until we get to that point. But either way, until next... Oh, okay. So the thing that this dropped is a warm sweater. Protects the wearer from cold by increased insulation. So if they live in an area that's really cold, here it's... If say we were to have someone with a room here, it's cold. They won't like that. The insulated sweater makes it easier for them to stay hot, but in hot areas it means they heat up faster. I don't know, it's one of the things that I should know how it works, and yet I just never bother to know. I just know warm sweater is the red one, and that's for people in cold places. Cool vest is the blue one, and that's for people in hot places. Either way, until next time, guys, take care. I'll see you all around.